morning and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, it's 7:15 on Saturday morning and we're here at Whakaroa waiting for the sun to come up. Now, when I arrived here, the high clouds were really lit up quite beautifully with the red colour. It's died a little now and we're just waiting for the sun to come up. We have just had a pretty significant storm, windy, lots of rain. We had tornadoes in Levin yesterday, and a lady was killed in the Waikato when a tree fell on her, which is pretty sad. Now, the weather forecast, it's 7:15 now, as I said before, and the weather forecast is for rain by 10. So I'm going to have to work pretty quickly here. It's going to be a pretty brisk and quick take. I've taken 3 panoramas so far of the sunset as the sunrise has started to come together, and my plan is now to get the actual sunrise when the sun peaks above the horizon. The plan is, as usual, F16 to give me a starburst and to try and find something just to create that starburst. Thank you. Now, one of the most important things to me is some of the tools I use to research before I go out. Now, obviously that day the weather was pretty extreme, but the weather forecast is a critical one of the things that I do. The other tool that I use quite a bit is photo pools. I've talked about this before on the video, but from you can see, looking at the image that's up now, that the yellow line tells me exactly where the sun is coming up, and that way I lined effectively the sunrise with Warranty and took it from there. So the other thing that I use quite a bit is Google Maps, and you would have seen the map of my trip as I went through. Also, I research the weather forecast very carefully. On that particular day, we had a jet stream over the top of us that I understand was something like 250 kilometres an hour that the winds were blowing, and that was creating some pretty amazing clouds and amazing cloud speed. So that was one of the highlights to consider and to actually to capture. I haven't noticed any sort of blurring or cloud movement in the images. Perhaps some of you guys will, but that's always something that can happen. So this whole video was captured in less than an hour, which I was pretty impressed with, because effectively I was at the first stop at just after 7 o'clock, and by the time I got to Taupaka, which was the last one, it was 8 o'clock. So I was pretty chuffed with that result, and it was really down to methodical planning and a bit of luck, because as you can see, it basically covered golden hour, but the light was starting to get a little bit harsh, and the images were starting to fall away towards the end. So that's an important consideration as well. I enjoy these sort of projects. I think they're quite fun. The time pressure is reasonably great. All of these spots I've been to before and taken photos from, with the exception of a couple of them where I went to a slightly different position to what I normally was. The last ones that you'll see, the Taupaka one. That's a new one for me because the hills were looking particularly good and I captured those there. I hope you enjoy these photos. I certainly enjoyed taking them. Thank you. Now, I'm at the end of my session. It's 8 o'clock and I've pretty much got all of the pictures that I wanted to get. It's been an interesting morning. I'm going to cover a little bit off of how I plan these mornings, what information I use to make the plans. Also, a few of the tricks around how to manage the sun, particularly shooting into the sun. We'll talk a little bit about that. But that's basically it for today. So thank you for watching. If you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel. If you watched this far, you owe it to yourself. If you've enjoyed the content, then please press the thumbs up button to show that you like the content. And also, if you want to give me some feedback, please do so in the comment section on the YouTube page. Thank you very much for watching this far. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.